Young Thug, born Jeffrey Lamar Williams in Atlanta, Georgia, didn't come from privilege. Growing up in the tough Jonesboro South projects, money was scarce and the environment was dangerous. But even in the middle of chaos, Thug was different. He had a wild sense of style, a bold personality, and a sound that nobody else had. In the early 2010s, Young Thug broke onto the scene with a unique voice that blended mumbling melodies with hard street energy. Songs like Stoner and his mixtape 1017 Thug caught the ear of rap legends, including Gucci Mane. Gucci saw potential and gave Thug a chance to shine. That cosign was the first step that would push Young Thug into stardom. What made him different was not just the music, but the image. He wore unconventional clothing, experimented with fashion, and blurred gender norms in hip-hop, something that sparked controversy but also set him apart as a fearless trendsetter. Thug wasn't just rapping, he was branding himself as a cultural disruptor. With hits like Lifestyle with Rich Gang, Young Thug's career skyrocketed. Suddenly, the boy from the projects was living in mansions, rocking designer clothes, and driving exotic cars. His stage presence, flamboyant lifestyle, and unpredictable personality made him one of the most talked-about artists in the industry. Money began pouring in, not just from music but also from endorsements, features, and touring. But with fame came problems. Thug's YSL Young Stoner Life Collective grew into both a music label and a crew. To fans, YSL was about creativity, fashion, and music. But to law enforcement, YSL was something different. Authorities accused the collective of being tied to gang activity. In 2022, Young Thug was arrested and charged in a sweeping RICO case. Alongside Gunna and other YSL members, Thug was accused of leading a criminal enterprise. Prosecutors painted a picture of the rapper as someone living a double life, a chart-topping superstar on one side and a dangerous gang leader on the other. Inside jail, Thug's larger-than-life image clashed with harsh reality. Gone were the diamonds, the luxury, the freedom. Now it was courtrooms, lawyers, and constant headlines. Clips of his interrogations or alleged leaked audio started circulating online. The internet exploded with debates. Some accused Thug of snitching, while others argued he was simply protecting himself. The drama only added to his legend. But even behind bars, Young Thug's influence didn't stop. His music kept streaming, his name kept trending, and his brand stayed alive. Other artists from Drake to Travis Scott continued to show him respect. And in 2023, fans rallied around him, calling for his freedom and reminding the world how much he shaped modern rap. Financially, the jail time was a blow. Tours were canceled, business deals were delayed, and the legal bills piled up. But Young Thug wasn't broke. Before jail, he had built a strong catalog, racking up millions in streaming royalties, publishing rights, and features. His estimated net worth hovered in the millions, proving that even when locked up, his art was paying him. It's important to understand why Young Thug became so popular in the first place. He wasn't just another rapper. He reinvented melodies in rap. He pushed boundaries in fashion. He created slang, sounds, and styles that artists like Lil Baby, Gunna, and even mainstream rappers borrowed from. To fans, Thug was more than music, he was a lifestyle, a movement. The fame came fast, but it also came with a price. Headlines about court cases, betrayals, and snitching scandals sometimes overshadowed the music. Yet despite the controversies, his fan base remained loyal. Every leaked song, every update from jail, every post connected to him still goes viral. Now, Young Thug stands as one of hip-hop's most complicated figures. A man who rose from poverty to luxury. A fashion rebel who challenged hip-hop norms. A superstar who earned millions, inspired a generation, and changed the sound of modern rap. And at the same time, a man fighting for his freedom, trying to prove he's more than the charges stacked against him. Whether he comes back to the stage stronger than ever or his story becomes a cautionary tale, one thing is clear: Young Thug's name will never be forgotten in music history. His influence is cemented, his style unmatched, and his story still unfolding. Because Young Thug isn't just an artist. He's a symbol of how fame, fortune, and the street life can collide, creating both success and chaos. And that's the truth about Young Thug. The money, the lifestyle, the jail time, and the legend that continues to grow. Young Thug's story has always been one of contradictions. Rising from the streets of Atlanta to become one of hip-hop's biggest innovators, he now finds himself at the center of a new controversy, a resurfaced interrogation clip that set the internet ablaze. A police interrogation video from 2 years ago has suddenly gone viral, showing Young Thug speaking with detectives about the 2015 shooting of Lil Wayne's tour bus. In the footage, he mentions Pee Wee Roscoe by name. Fans instantly accused him of hypocrisy. After all, Thug had previously condemned Gunna for taking an Ford plea and labeled him a snitch. Now he was doing something eerily similar. The response was immediate and fierce. Social media flooded with memes and commentary, some calling it the ultimate double standard. But Thug didn't stay silent for long. On X, he clapped back, "They didn't play my interrogation video in court 'cause I helped my brother ratwear." He insisted the clip was taken out of context and that he was protecting, not betraying, his associate. This isn't the first time Young Thug has faced loyalty questions, but this moment strikes at the heart of hip-hop street credibility code. Even Whack 100 weighed in, stating it was against the rules in street culture, stoking even more debate. Meanwhile, the legal landscape hasn't cooled. Earlier in 2025, prosecutors sought to revoke Thug's probation, citing a viral social media post that may have endangered a DA's investigator, a violation that could have triggered a 20-year prison term. Thankfully for Thug, a judge ruled it didn't constitute a probation breach, but issued a sharp warning about reckless social media behavior. Yet his story isn't just about controversy. Musically, Thug is staging a comeback. His verse on Lil Baby's track Dumb, Dumb and Dumber marked his first public feature since prison. Moments later, he made his comeback stage appearance, headlining at the Summer Smash Festival in Chicago in mid-2025. The energy was electric. He debuted new tracks from his upcoming album UY Scuti, with surprise guests like Travis Scott and T.I., and even censored lines aimed at Gunna, marking a very public continuation of their fractured relationship. All this comes as he prepares to release UY Scuti, his first studio album since prison, with features from Future, 21 Savage, Ken Carson, Mariah The Scientist, plus production from heavyweights like Metro Boomin and Southside. At the same time, Young Thug is pursuing legal moves behind the scenes. His attorney has filed a motion to modify his sentence, reflecting how he's carefully navigating his probation and reputation while rebuilding his career. In many ways, Young Thug in 2025 exemplifies the modern hip-hop paradox, a revered creative genius and trailblazer, yet still entangled in legal battles and loyalty tests. He's performing again, making music again, and still embodies that electrifying but precarious tension between street credibility and mainstream success. As this story continues to unfold, will UY Scuti cement Thug's legacy? Will the snitching scandal fade into rumor or damage his foundation? In 2025, Young Thug is both reborn and tested. It's a chapter in his legend that's far from over. To really understand Young Thug's story, you have to go back to Gucci Mane. Gucci isn't just a rapper, he's a gatekeeper in Atlanta. He has a reputation for spotting raw talent before anyone else does, and Young Thug was no exception. In 2013, when Thug was still grinding, it was Gucci who gave him one of his first big looks by signing him briefly to his 1017 Records. That move changed everything. Gucci didn't just sign Thug, he co-signed him, gave him credibility, and exposed him to a bigger audience. At the time, Thug's sound was so different, so experimental, that a lot of people didn't get it. But Gucci knew. He saw the star power early, the same way he spotted artists like Waka Flocka Flame, Migos, Pee Wee Longway, and later on, Pooh Shiesty. That stamp of approval from Gucci opened the door for Thug to become a household name. And even though Thug didn't stay on 1017 for long, the bond between him and Gucci has always been there. Gucci respects him as a student of the game, while Thug respects Gucci as one of the original bosses of Atlanta rap. Now, when it comes to Lil Baby, the connection runs even deeper. Young Thug didn't just mentor Baby, he invested in him. The story goes that Thug used to pay Lil Baby just to stay out of the streets and spend his time in the studio. That investment paid off big time because Lil Baby exploded into one of the biggest rappers of this generation, with platinum albums, huge endorsement deals, and tours that sell out arenas. Lil Baby has never been shy about saying that Young Thug played a big role in his success. He often calls him family and credits him for helping steer his life in a different direction. Their relationship isn't just music, it's loyalty, it's mentorship, it's brotherhood. And then there's Gucci's newer generation of artists, names like Pooh Shiesty, Fujiano, and Big Scar, who all came up under Gucci's 1017 label. Even though Thug wasn't directly tied to all of them, his influence on Atlanta's sound carried through. Gucci built the platform, but Thug's experimental style made it okay for these younger rappers to bend the rules and push boundaries in their own music. In a way, it's like this: Gucci opened the door for Young Thug, and Young Thug opened the door for Lil Baby. Together, they've kept Atlanta at the center of hip-hop for more than a decade. From Gucci's trap roots to Thug's wild creativity to Baby's superstar dominance, each one connects to the other, creating a chain of influence that keeps Atlanta untouchable. Even with all the drama surrounding Thug's court cases and the YSL Rico trial, that legacy doesn't go away. His ties to Gucci, his bond with Lil Baby, and the way they've all built each other up is proof that Atlanta's rap scene is less about one person and more about the way these artists feed into each other's success. Thug, born Jeffrey Williams, is on a complex journey in 2025, balancing legal freedom, creative resurgence, and personal relationships amid ongoing public scrutiny. He's emerged from one of Georgia's most notorious trials, steering through 15 years of probation and under Judge Paige Reese Whitaker's careful watch. In April, prosecutors urged revoking his probation over a viral social media post, but the judge declined, choosing not to send him back to prison, though she warned, tread lightly online. On the legal front, his lead attorney, Brian Steele, played a defining role in that victory. Steele, known for his meticulous defense of Thug during the 2-year YSL Rico trial, now stands as a national powerhouse, recently joining high-profile cases like Diddy's federal trial. Life isn't just about court dates, though. On the personal side, there's Mariah The Scientist, his longtime partner since around 2021. Despite leaked jail calls hinting at strain, Thug's February tweet, "I love my wife," ignited speculation, likely pointing to Mariah. About court dates, though. On the personal side, there's Mariah The Scientist, his longtime partner since around 2021. Despite leaked jail calls hinting at strain, Thug's February tweet, "I love my wife," ignited speculation, likely pointing to Mariah. Creatively, Thug is back in his element. He dropped his first post-release verse on Lil Baby's track Dumb, Dumb and Dumber with Future in early 2025. April brought the single Money on Money, featuring Future,